Scene 1, take 1, shot 5. It's all backwards, but whatever. Okay, so Wasteland is the first feature by Light Films and by me. I've done quite a few short films in the past. First short film we did since Chris Moore came on board as executive producer on most of the projects was a horror film called The Apartment. And then we've moved slowly through a whole range of different genres. We've done a boxing drama film, modern war film, and the last film we did was a comedy set in a convenience store. So it's quite a departure from those sort of films, and we're moving on to a feature film, which is a much bigger canvas. The production side is much larger, whereas the shooting that we were doing before would be over 3 days, and it was quite a pace that we'd be going at. Whereas now we've actually got to shoot faster and get through a lot of dialogue in a short space of time. Which is why we're sort of cheating, I guess, a little bit. Our shoot date isn't actually until the 7th of February is I think our first official date, but we've decided to do a couple of the earlier dialogue scenes today, and we've got a couple of early morning shoots to get some of the larger dialogue scenes done and dusted quite early on.
The story is a zombie apocalypse movie, which has been done once or twice before, but trying to take a new angle on it. Well, show the story of a man waiting for his girlfriend to reappear is the basis of the story, but kind of trying to tell the story of how the world fell apart from one man's point of view, and the way society is before and the way society works afterwards when there's nothing left. I suppose I'm Legend was a big influence on it, and the Romero zombie movies, and 28 Days Later were the big ones that kind of went for it. Then, as I was writing it last year, the London riots started happening, and that kind of influenced bits, because it was on the first or second draft of the screenplay that we had that kind of thing going off, and it was sort of your perspective on the world at that point. I think that influenced a lot of the stuff with the zombies in the cities and reaching across the country. One of the things we wanted to try and stay away from was big empty cities, and try and keep a smaller story of a man living a life as you would live it, which has probably been more rural and keeping away from where population once was. That's one of the ideas behind it, to stay away from that cliched empty city or empty shopping mall, that kind of thing, and just keep a much smaller, much more focused story of one man's survival in a very small environment, and not look at the bigger picture. One of the other things I wanted to stay away from was the news footage idea of showing the world through media. We only showed the character's world, well, the way the character perceives the world through word of mouth, essentially. He only heard about things through his girlfriend or over the CB radio. The world outside was very distant to him, and he only looked at his own world and his own survival with the people around him, the people that cared about, not humanity as a whole.
Hello, I'm Shameer, playing the character of Scott in Wasteland. We finally filmed the first couple of scenes today. We filmed 2 scenes that Scott's involved in with George. It's the only character that he has a relationship with. Never sees him. It's all on radio. He wants to know where he'd been, what had happened. He's curious that George hasn't been in touch because of whatever reason. Basically, the character of Scott, before the world changed, he was a Jack the Lad, confident, arrogant, thought he was smooth with the ladies, but now he's isolated and still waiting for his girlfriend in the hope. And in the meantime, while he's hoping, he uses George as someone to confide in, and he believes that one day everything will be back to normal, but until then he's just surviving.
Sometimes surviving isn't enough.